Hi all, welcome to another Sparky Rides. Hope you're all well. And we're out on the little bike at the moment because we're going to talk about the A2 licence. What bike should you get once you've got your A2 licence, once you've passed your first of many driving tests on a bike? Or well, second test really if you took your A1, but most people leave this to the first one. So yeah, you're on your little 125, you've done your 2-year apprenticeship, and you're thinking that you want more power. Yeah, so you've done your 2-year apprenticeship on your 125, you've been screaming the nuts off it for 2 years to get 60 and 65 out of it. And now you've reached that age and you're allowed to do your A2, and you've done it, and you've passed your flying colours like you knew you would. And you're thinking, what bike should I get now? Well, Sparky Rides is here to help you with his thoughts on what you should get with your A2 licence. So don't go away, stick around, be back shortly with the rest of this video. Stay tuned. So there we are, you find yourself with an A2 licence in your hand, you've passed your test, and you want something bigger. Maybe like this is something bigger. So you're probably looking at a Bandit or a Hornet or maybe a Phaser, and getting that restricted. You might be looking at something like this, you know, 650 single or the R6, something like that, you know. They can all be restricted, but they can only be restricted by half their power. They can't be restricted by a horsepower at a time. It's only by half their power. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, I'll get a Bandit and restrict that to 47 horsepower, can't be done, I'm afraid. If that Bandit starts out at, say, 70 horsepower, you restrict it, and it's actually restricted to 35. So just bear that in mind, because those sort of bikes are quite weighty. You know, they're not light. They're well, the Bandit and the Hornet and the Phaser are all 600 inline 4s. You know, and they're quite heavy bikes. Not, you know, not like the Harley Davidsons or anything like that, but they're weighty compared to your 125 was. And if you're going to restrict that to half its power, it's not going to ride quite as it was supposed to. You know, it'll be a lot different to your 125. You won't be screwing the nuts off it everywhere, but the actual bike itself is designed to be 70 horsepower. So just bear that in mind if you're thinking to go along that route. I know it's cheaper because you can get a lot more second-hand bikes, and you know, older bikes and what have you. You can get them restricted down, but I'm not sure that's the route that I would take. You know, if I was younger, oh my god, if I was younger, and I'd just done my 2 years on a 125, I'd probably be looking at a purpose A2 bike. You know, that all the manufacturers now are building purpose A2 bikes. You know, you've got the Ninja 300, which has been out forever. You know, took over from the 250. It seems forever it's been around. You've got the CBR 300R, you've got the R3, got the MTO3, and of course you've got the CBR 500R and the range there, CBR 500 or CB 500F and X. And they're all purpose-built A2 bikes. They're built for the purpose, weight-wise, because that's something I forgot to mention with the other thing. You're not only restricted by power, but you're restricted by power to weight ratio as well. So, you know, I think personally, I would buy a purpose-built bike and go down that route, because you've been screaming your little 125 forever, and you can get, say, an R3 or whatever you fancy, but I quite like the R3, quite like the look of that. And that's a 100-mile-an-hour bike, you know, I do over 100 mile an hour, and you're not allowed to do that legally, so, you know, you're having quite a step up. You're taking quite a big step up from a 125. I know everyone's going to say, but they're only 320cc. Yeah, maybe they are, but it's designed and it produces, I think, 42 horsepower. It's designed as a bike to ride with that power, and I think personally it will perform better than restricting a bigger bike. You know, I'm not saying you've got to do that. This is just my opinion of what I would do, because you've got such a choice nowadays, you know, of purpose bikes, and obviously you can if you wanted to, if you've got loads of money, you've got a good job and what have you can go down the route of a nice MT-07 and have that restricted, but it's restricted to half its power. It's still probably a load of fun compared to a 125, but it's not going to be the bike it's meant to be. And I know you're going to say, yeah, but in 2 years I can do my full test and I can unrestrict it. Of course you can. Yes, you can unrestrict it, and yes, it will drive like a new bike, but only for a while, because human beings, we're funny things, us human beings. We soon get used to extra power. You know, within a month you'll be saying, oh, this doesn't seem like it's got as much power as it used to have. Because we all do it. We all think, oh, our bike's fantastic the first few days we got it, and then after a couple of 3 weeks we think, oh, it doesn't seem to go as well as it used to. It's not because it doesn't go as well as it used to. Of course it does. It goes just as well as it ever did, but it's just that you've got used to it. And if you're anything like me, I get fed up with things very quickly. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll buy a bigger bike, or, you know, like an MT-07 and restrict it, because I could keep that for 4 years. I don't think I've kept anything for 4 years, personally. I get fed up with doing the same old thing all the time, so bikes and cars, I find it hard to keep them for a long time, even though when you first get them you fall in love with them and they're fantastic, they're the best things, you know, since sliced bread. After a month or two you do get used to them, and you think, I wouldn't mind something a bit bigger, a bit more power. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. You know, if it was me, I would personally go for a purpose-built A2 bike, because they are built for that purpose. You know, they're a smaller bike, yes, but they're also a lighter bike. They're great in twisties, those sort of bikes, because you know, you've got more power than your 125. You might have had, say, I don't know, a CBR 125 or an RC 125, and you might like the styling of a sports bike. So, you know, you might, if you went for an R3, you'd be in the same or a very similar riding position with considerably more power and purpose-built power for that bike. So that's what I would do. Let me know, leave me a comment, tell me what you've gone for, what you're going for, what you're thinking of going for, and because I'm interested in people's choices. I'm interested in what other bikers think and want to do. And don't nod at me then. So yeah, leave us a comment, and I'll catch you next time I'm out. Whether it be on this one or the tiny one, the tiny Chinese one. They're both a load of fun. All bikes are fun, so whatever bike you go for, you'll enjoy it, don't worry. And whatever you ride, ride safe. See you later, tubes. Bye bye now.